Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fit Vegans Rock. I am your co host, Shani Collins Woods,
And I'm Timothy Woods.
and we are the content creators and the creators of this channel, Fit Vegans Rock. On this channel, Timothy and I discuss all things related to the whole foods plant based lifestyle. We talk about fitness, nutrition, and ways for you to incorporate more plant-based recipes and fun activities into your whole lifestyle. So thank you for joining us tonight. We have a wonderful topic for you today. Tonight we're going to be talking about salt-free seasonings, salad dressings, and other condiments. So this is a very important topic because as you transition to the whole foods plant-based lifestyle, we know that those seasonings and condiments can contain a lot of sugar, fat, and carbs. So before we get into our video, we kindly ask you to consider subscribing to our channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, share it, and turn the notifications bell on so that you will be notified of any new content that we post to this channel. We are relatively new to YouTube, but our subscriber base has grown tremendously over the past few weeks. And so welcome to all of our new subscribers, and thank you to those who have been following along with us on this journey. Our journey is your journey, and we are happy to share information and knowledge with you as you embrace the whole foods plant-based lifestyle. So Tim, are you ready to get into the video?
I am ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. So again, we are here tonight to discuss salt-free seasonings, salad dressings, and other condiments. And as I mentioned briefly earlier, a lot of these condiments, dressings, and seasonings can contain a lot of salt, sugar, carbs, and fat. I'll let the fitness and nutrition expert, Timothy, my husband, speak to that. So Tim, can you talk to us about why it is important for those who are embracing the whole foods plant-based lifestyle to be mindful of what they are consuming in terms of their seasonings, dressings, and other condiments?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, okay, normally if we're making a lifestyle change, we're trying to be more healthy, right? We're trying to make sure we preserve our lives. We want to be healthy for our family, our kids, our grandkids, whatever it may be, right? So we're going to make that change and start eating healthy. But unfortunately, you can have a healthy meal, and with the wrong ingredients, seasoning, condiments, it can be it can turn a good meal into a bad meal, So you have to be careful with the amount of sugar you consume with your meal. You have to be careful with the amount of carbs you consume with your meal. And you definitely, if you have any kind of pre-existing issues, hypertensive, anything like that, you got to make sure that you don't consume a lot of sodium. Mm-hmm. So those things are extremely important when it comes to maintaining a healthy, a good meal and a good lifestyle.
Okay, well said, babe. And so what we're going to really go over tonight is some of the seasonings that we use. Some of them a majority of them are vegan. We pretty much don't use any seasonings or things that are non-vegan. But as we were transitioning many years ago, and as we recently, but almost going into 2 years now, have recently recommitted ourselves to the whole foods plant-based lifestyle, we're going to share some not recipes. We'll get to that later in the book. We're going to share some condiments and seasonings that may help you on your transition to leaving the dairy-based dressings, leaving that high sodium seasoning, and leaving some of those condiments that have lots of eggs and mayonnaise. We're going to share with you some things that are pretty much vegan, and then some that are not vegan, but that will help you as you gradually transition. Because if you watch my video, Becoming Vegan, it's not a one day thing. You need to take it at your own pace, do what works for your lifestyle, and sometimes that means gradually transitioning into the full whole foods plant-based lifestyle. So we're going to start with some seasonings. Tim, I'll let you start, and if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the full salt seasonings, and what are some of the alternatives to using some of our traditional favorites that we used to use before we became vegans?
Okay. I like spicy food. Mm-hmm. For those who
he likes his food straight out of hell.
Yes, I love spicy food. So whatever it is, I love it to be spicy, right? So
that's why you married this spicy woman, and like you married this spicy lady.
Wise kept, fellas. All right, so Tony's.
And we have a glare issue, so
yeah.
just
so
bear with
forgive
us.
me. But you guys know what Tony is. Everybody know pretty much what Tony is.
Tony's,
right?
New
Tony
Orleans seasoning.
Yes, it's spicy. I put this thing on everything.
Louisiana.
I put it on everything from breakfast to lunch to dinner. You know, it
Pretty
only
vegan.
that you can just put it on anything. I mean, it just works. It's just awesome.
It's flavorful.
But it has a lot, and I do mean a lot, of sodium.
Yes.
No good.
Yes.
Not good for you.
This is
whatsoever.
not good for you.
That was the old Tim.
That's the old Tim. The full flavor original Creole seasoning. If you see the original was and if you've heard me, I'm super salt sensitive, so I can't even take hardly any of this stuff. I see those people on YouTube doing all these mukbangs and they're having so much salt, and I'm just like, God, we Lord help.
Funny, because this thing been there over a year, so now.
Yeah, this is old.
This is old.
I don't even know why we still have this.
Yeah, it's amazing we still have it. I have a lot of these. This is salt free.
This is the salt. Oh, we have a big glare going on.
So let's go over here right quick. You got to see that?
It's salt.
No salt whatsoever. It's Tony's. And it works.
It's spicy.
It's still spicy and it still tastes good, but it works. It's no sodium. So if you let's be real, the number two cause cause of kidney failure and put you on dialysis is being hypertensive. Sodium. Like
and what's the number one?
And the number one is diabetes. Number one cause of dialysis, kidney failure, is diabetes. Number two is being hypertensive. We're gonna try
hand in hand.
Yes, and we're gonna try, and it's like a slow death sentence. We're gonna try to avoid those things like the plague. It is what it is. Like, we're gonna try to be healthy, not to condemn or bash anyone. We're information. We're trying to give you information that's going to change your life.
Right, because our parents have lived through these issues.
So
we're not talking about what we heard. No. We're talking about firsthand experience with dealing with chronic health issues and parents who have dealt with these issues. I have something coming to the door, but Tim, you go ahead.
Yes, my mother. I lost my mother. She was diabetic. And she had chronic health issues. She was hypertensive and diabetic, and she ended up going into kidney failure, and unfortunately, she lost her life. You know, and it was just, if we'd have made those, a lot of things at that time I just didn't know. You know, later on, it was a little bit later when she passed. I obtained more information of being hypertensive and. You know, make sure my baby drinking the water. Being hypertensive and being diabetic, it's like a slow, you know, gradually progressive type death sentence. It's like it's something that's it's going to have to be regulated for the rest of your life. You know, so with being proactive and learning about certain things, you possibly can prevent that. So that's what we're trying to do on this channel. Make sure you guys have the information to prevent, you know, going through the things that our parents went through.
Right.
You know, my wife, both her parents, you know,
they are stroke survivors. And that stuff is not a joke. It's not a game.
No.
And if your parents have had diabetes or hypertension, in most instances, you are 50% more likely to have that chronic issue as well. So it's not a game for us. And we have seen the ramifications, the aftermath of dealing with parents and loved ones who had, you know, health crises. And so that's why we're so passionate about talking about these important health issues in the whole foods plant-based lifestyle, because we know it firsthand with our family members, our parents, but also just in our community as African Americans, as Black people, we understand that these issues are real.
And I would, to add on to that before we move on with the seasoning, my siblings are all hypertensive or pre-diabetic. You know, so this is something that's near and dear to my heart. So if I come off kind of like strong or being passionate about it, this is real for me. It's not a game.
It's very real for us. And so that's what we're trying to convey and translate. And that's why, you know, we feel a true purpose in calling and talking about the whole foods plant-based lifestyle, because it's going to save lives. And so we're going to be submitted to what God has, you know, called us to do, and put this information out here. Do with it what you will, but we've been telling you. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about, so Tim talked about Tony's and the alternative. And so what we're essentially saying with that is, as you're looking at your seasoning, go through your cabinet, look at what you have, read the back of the ingredients. If that first ingredient pops up as salt, which is what it will probably pop up as on many things like lemon pepper seasoning, all those different seasonings that give us that flavor that we love. That is something you may want to consider eliminating or definitely reducing your intake. Because if you've been told you have hypertension or you're borderline or that your numbers are through the roof of your blood pressure, the last thing you need to really be consuming is additional salt. Yes. Okay. And that's why we're saying it's important to be mindful of the condiments and the seasonings, because some things have that hidden salt in there. Yes. So think about ways to incorporate more salt-free seasoning, things that have reduced sodium, things that are sugar-free or reduced sugar, because that's going to help you live a longer, healthier life. It'll help you just feel better in general. So we're gonna pinpoint some seasonings that we like to use in our cooking. Garlic powder. It's just granulated garlic. That's essentially what it is. It's flavorful. You can use it at home, come and cook out, Thanksgiving, any holiday. Pick it up at your local dollar store. Old Bay is something that you see in lots of mukbangs, and it is filled with salt. Don't toss it.
Yes.
Toss it. It tastes good, but toss it.
It's
not worth you being on dialysis.
No.
And you have to start, and we encourage you to start processing it like that, because that's how we look at it.
Yes.
We've seen the ramifications. Is eating something that's is kind of bad for you, going to be detrimental? Is it really worth being in the hospital?
No, and a lot of my students, and not to say any names, and I take pride in that. Mm-hmm. When someone came, one particular student, not to say any names, he came to me and he's like, I'm on dialysis. Mm-hmm. I need to have a kidney transplant, but I'm overweight.
The doctors would not give it to him, and many of you may know that story. If you are overweight or are dealing with obesity or being overweight, your doctor will not approve you for surgery. If your blood pressure is too high, your doctor may tell you to pause to get your blood pressure under control before you can have surgery.
Yes, and he had 6 months to lose, I think, 45 or 55 pounds.
Absolutely.
And he came to my door. He's
the whole family. And
this guy, he's not just any person. He was like big in the just forget it. It's law enforcement. He was big in community, and people knew him. So the thing was, I'm like, we're gonna get it done. We're going to get it done. Mm-hmm. And we got it done. He got a kidney transplant. But what I'm saying is, just put forth a little effort. The seasoning is not, the flavoring is not worth, being on dialysis and going through all that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And many of you, especially in the Black community, because we know that diabetes impacts our community so much. People call it sugar. I'm from Mississippi Delta. They say, oh, I got the diabetes, I got the sugar. But some of these things are preventable. And so start getting to know your health history. And just if we can work on the seasonings and the condiments, that's a good place to start.
Yes.
Just take it one day at a time, step by step. We're not here to beat you up. We're just passionate about it. But baby step your way into walking back on a lot of that salt, because I've seen the impact. Yes. It may not catch up with you now, but you're going to have to pay the piper. Okay.
And we're not perfect.
We're not perfect by any means.
We made mistakes, but we get back on the stick.
We get back on the stick.
Yes.
And so that's a phrase we want you to repeat. Get back on the stick. When you fall off the stick, get back on the stick and do what you need to do.
Yes.
So again, I talked about garlic powder, minced onion. Go to Dollar General, Walmart. You like onion flavor, get some minced onion. Okay.
That's our favorite.
Yeah, it's one. I didn't even like onions for a large part of my life. But I watched my mother cook so much, and members of my family use so many minced onions. And my mom would, kind of trick us a little bit with my sister and I, because, older people in the older generation, they kind of like, fresh vegetables and stuff like that, and onion. They'll just chop it up with different stuff. And I was like, I'm not biting into that whole onion. But my mom would put onions in tuna. She would use the minced onion because she wanted us to eat it, but she knew we wouldn't eat like a regular raw onion, or even if it was chopped up finely. So that's kind of how she tricked us. And so my sister still doesn't like it, but I will eat it. So again, garlic powder, onion, minced onion. You want that flavor. Timothy likes his food straight out of hell. So I can't take it. Anything, I can't take it.
I love spicy.
Crushed pepper. Tim, how do you use your crushed pepper?
Well, it all depends on what I'm cooking. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm cooking my tofu, I like spicy.
Tim loves tofu.
Yes, and I stir fry it. Well, not like grease, but with
plant-based butter.
Yeah,
and we'll get to that as well.
Butter and even with the spray
Yeah,
stuff, no calories, no anything.
Spray.
Yes. So, but I like spicy, and I don't know what it is. Just give it a different flavor. And this stuff here is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Tim likes a lot of crushed red pepper, and
yes.
so hey, this stuff is $1 at the store, and it's natural, so it doesn't have any salt. You can read the back of the label, no salt. And that's another thing. While you're looking for your seasonings, go in and start reading the back of the label.
Yes.
Go to the American Heart Association website. They will tell you what the recommended amount of sodium is we should consume. They will tell you how much sodium you should consume if you are a person living with hypertension. Yeah. And that number is going to be significantly less than a person who does not have hypertension. So if you think about it, if you fix your breakfast in the morning and you use full butter or margarine, that stuff has salt, fat, and then you're eating the bacon and all that's cholesterol. And what that does is just clogging up those arteries, and so that's when you start having strokes, and that's when you start having those heart attacks. So just be mindful.
Yeah, and don't just wait on the doctor to give you information, because they don't know themselves, half of them. No. And nowadays we live in a technology type of society, so everything is now, information is just it's at our disposal. Yes, so just do your due diligence, research it, find out what works, what leads to certain things. And you don't have to be like so paranoid or anything like that, but just research a little something, just to make sure that it's okay. Yeah, this may have a little bit too much salt. And if I eat this today and then turn around and eat lunch and it has this much salt in this, I'm probably going to be way over the amount of salt I need that's healthy for my life. So, and if you're hypertensive, it's going to sodium retain water.
Make sure retain water. So
you got to be mindful.
Be mindful. Right. Thanks, babe.
You don't want your feet to swell and stuff.
You don't want right. That's a good point, Tim. Yes. When you do notice that you are having that swelling in your feet, you are having, hands and feet. Hands. That's a sign that you're retaining water. And how do we get rid of water? We drink more water and push it out.
And cut out the sodium.
Cut out the salt. Yes. Cut out the salt, right. And coffee. You have to really watch it too if you're hypertensive.
Yes.
You might have to just switch to decaf because it's going to just make you just retain, water.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak on the coffee.
Tim likes coffee a lot. And I drink decaf.
Yes, he does.
I just have to watch it. Garlic powder is good. This is a blend that comes directly from Kroger. It's called garlic powder California style. So it has like some parsley and other things, but guess what? It's salt free. Yes. And of course, our favorite, the salt free seasoning that comes from Dollar Tree. So go to your Dollar Tree and get some salt free seasoning. We've been talking about Tabitha Brown seasoning recently, in which we really do like it and enjoy it. It is salt free. If you like a Caribbean type of flavor with a little kick to it, try this seasoning out. And lastly, if you have to use some salt, I wouldn't recommend getting some table salt. We kind of grew up with that, like just dumping that salt on that table salt. Try a coarse sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. You can get all these seasonings for $1 at the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Kroger. You can just get them for relatively cheap. So, do your due diligence by reading the labels and trying to cut back on that salt. And remember, we're going to baby step you through this process.
Absolutely. And I would say it's trial and error, because I can cook food for myself, and then I try to, and I'm like, I seasoned this really good this time. But my wife have an amazing, unique way of taking onion powder, salt-free seasoning, and garlic and all this other stuff with no sodium, and blend it all together, and it tastes like, I'm like, wow, this is some good seasoning. You would think it had salt in it. You would think that it had salt in it.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't, and it tastes delicious.
Right. And that's one of the things I think we started to realize too, and that was like some of the mistakes we made earlier on our journey. I think a lot of times people are like, well, what is vegan food going to taste like? I need my flavor. A lot of times, you don't really miss that meat. You're missing the flavor. Yeah. So that's something to be mindful of as well.
Yes.
So let's move on. Have we sufficiently covered the seasonings, babe?
Yeah, we're done with the seasoning.
So now we're going to talk about dressings and other condiments. So we have a lot of plant-based dressings here, as well as some sugar-free dressings. So Tim, you want to start with your favorite spicy plant-based dressing?
Okay, I'm gonna speed this up because I know I went through like a whole rundown with the sodium and things. Forgive me if it became redundant.
No, it's important.
So I like spicy. Always spicy for me. It's crazy. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's terrible. But this is spicy ranch dressing, plant-based. It's really good. It's only like 110 calories, a little high on the calorie side. But here's the thing. Hardly no carbs. Gotta work.
And it's no eggs in there.
No eggs, no sugar.
And that's important to remember because eggs contain cholesterol. There are 200 milligrams, I think, of cholesterol per egg. So think about it. If you're eating all those eggs in the morning and you turn around and put it back in your dressing, you're just consuming so much cholesterol. High cholesterol leads to what? Stroke.
Yes. And I would say to add on to that, I didn't like my when I was competing in one particular match, just as a side note, and I was lean. I probably was just shredded for this fight. I was in shape, and I went to the doctor. I was on a low carb diet at the time. You know, low carb, high protein, low carb. And the guy was like, "Your cholesterol numbers are kind of high here. What have you been consuming?" Now I was thinking like, I had to eat those eggs. You know,
eggs. It was the eggs. It was so many eggs.
So morning, and it was just something. It's just anyway, just be mindful. But I like the spicy dressing. That's for me. That's my thing.
And so this brand, I get this from Kroger, and it is Simple Truth. And again, make sure for everything you're looking at or purchasing, read the labels. Take the time to be intentional, and don't rush so quickly because it's your health. It's your heart. Be intentional with yourself because you matter and you are important. So if you have to stand in the grocery store a little bit longer, or if you have to browse online, because I do the, ordering online as well. But once you get the habit, you'll know, what it is to go in the grocery store, and you'll just kind of zip through that process, but be intentional about it. So this is Simple Truth plant-based spicy dressing. It's dairy-free, soy-free, gluten-free, vegan. So we eat this. And they also have like a blue cheese version of it. So whatever is available, just try to pick that. But also something that is new is Hidden Valley Ranch. Now this is really good. They have a plant-powered, dairy-free dressing made with plant-based ingredients. And this is really good. I know many people love this for wings and all that good stuff we like to eat. I would say try it on some cauliflower wings.
Yes.
But let me tell you, you cannot taste the difference between the original Hidden Valley and this plant-based Hidden Valley Ranch. So that may be something for you to consider as well.
Yes. And some of the condiments, we try to match what is not like vegan, and you can tell the difference.
Right.
That one particular, that ranch, you cannot tell the difference.
Right.
You would think it's the same
one. Yeah. And I think that's a good point what you're saying, Tim, because, we all eat for taste, right? If it's making your face turn and you're just like, oh, Lord, help me you don't really want to eat that. And so taste is going to be important, but we also have to just be mindful that, we're eating also for taste, but really it's about our total body wellness.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so we found some additional things that helped us to transition into the whole foods plant-based. And these are balsamic vinaigrettes and some other sugar-free dressings. So Tim, can you talk a little bit about the sugar? And these are not vegan to my knowledge. I don't see it anywhere on the container. They are by G. Hughes, and they are called sugar-free dressings and what what is this called?
That's sauces. The marinara sauce, yes.
Yeah, but I do like this. I think it's a Black-owned company, and he has amazing sauces and dressings. Yes. They are sugar-free.
Yes. Okay, so like anything, we're pre-diabetic or we have diabetes, we have to monitor our blood sugar level. That's just what we have to monitor our consumption of high sugar food with high sugar.
Right.
All right. So you go out and you get a salad, and the salad is awesome. It's big. You got this, you have that. And then you're like, okay, I'm eating healthy. And you take a whole bottle of dressing and dump it on there.
Right. You just killed the purpose of, right.
Yes. And then you check your blood sugar level and it's through the roof. All right, so just to be mindful, these, like anything, we're transitioning. Like, don't beat yourself up. Like anything, you don't go cold turkey ever. You have to kind of wean your way off, gradually wean your way off. Before you know it, you'll be like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, you'll have a different reaction.
That's just what it is, but it's going to take a little time. It's like eating from coffee to decaf. It's going to take a little time, I don't recommend sodas, but you have sodas, diet sodas, stuff like that. So it's going to take a little time. It's just transition. So these are great. It doesn't. It's no
Yes.
low calories, no carbs.
Yeah.
You know, no
The
sodium.
It has sodium,
Sodium
but
is
it
low.
isn't too high. It's low
too
sodium.
low. It's like 200 milligrams. That's not too strenuous because you know you can eat a pack of noodles, ramen noodles, and it's
like 1,200,
1,300.
and that's all the sodium you need for a whole day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
So this is a minimum amount of sodium, but it's sugar free, so it's definitely good for your blood sugar level. So those are the things you have to be mindful, and you have a very unlimited variety. So many different flavors you can choose from. But eventually, you want to like wean yourself off from all of that. But that's just a transitional phase that we go through. So this is great. So try it out. If you're making that transition from, eating meat to a whole food plant-based diet.
Right. Absolutely. Good point. And one of our favorites, I picked this up. Oh, that Hellman's vegan salad dressing. Listen, this is a winner. Listen, you will not know that this is completely vegan. And when you eat all that mayonnaise, it's nothing but eggs. And you know that eggs are just cholesterol. It's cholesterol. Yes. Let me read this cholesterol. 0 cholesterol. Sodium 100 milligrams. Carb less than 1 gram. Calories 70. Compare that to regular mayo. This tastes so good. Hellman's vegan dressing and spread. You can use this on sandwiches if you want to make a sandwich, hot dog.
Vegan hot dogs.
Vegan hot dogs. If you're making some type of pasta dish, vegan pasta dish, this will be a winner. Even if you want to make some things that are vegetarian, because again, we encourage you to make your transition gradual. Some things pescatarian, whatever you choose to do. It's kind of hard to do it cold turkey in our experience.
Yes.
Gradually transition yourself and just gradually incorporate more plant-based items, condiments into your food. But this is a winner. Tim, you got some feedback on this?
Yes, I think that's where we made a mistake. Like we went cold turkey.
The first time we just went cold turkey. I went, and don't do it during the holidays. If you're don't do it when there's a holiday or a major event. Enjoy those events. Enjoy the holidays. Unless your doctor is like giving you strict, like you need to cut something out. But make it during a period where you're going to be kind of low stress, where you're not going to be tempted by so much, food and stuff. It could be a part of your New Year's resolution,
Yeah. Okay. To this thing here. Excuse me. Did I say that I'm clumsy here? But anyway, so how you say that people put their foot in, they put their foot in this. This thing tastes just like mayonnaise. I can't tell the difference. It's awesome. And I like vegan hot dogs. I put the mayo with the mustard and some, a little sauce or whatever, and it tastes exactly like the vegan hot dog. So this thing is really good. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is 9.5. So try it out, see if you like it, and let us know.
Okay, very good. And our last thing we want to share with you all is some of the vegan spreads or butters, vegan butter that you can use. Now, I am a huge fan. Earlier, I made a video and I was pronouncing this Mayokos. It is pronounced, and it reads right here in the back, Miyoko. So I apologize for mispronouncing it because I think that is very important to honor people's culture and pronunciations of names and such. But this is Miyoko's European style cultured vegan butter with a hint of sea salt, 100% crafted from plants. And I've seen a lot of interviews where Miyoko is speaking, and she is actually a chef who has been making a lot of plant-based food items for many, many, many years. And so when I'm making avocado toast or Timothy's making something that he likes to enjoy, Miyoko's is typically a go-to for us. Yeah, that's really good. And another vegan butter that we also use is the Earth Balance. And so this is the soy-free kind. I used to get the full flavor, but I just get the soy-free because soy can there's a lot of controversy around soy. So we try to steer clear of soy if we can. I know Tim does eat some tofu sometimes.
A lot.
I was trying to be mindful.
Yes, a lot.
I don't eat tofu too much, but we had some yesterday actually at a restaurant. It was really good. So we had like a tofu hibachi. And so Earth Balance soy-free vegan buttery spread. And let's see if there's any cholesterol in here. No cholesterol. So those are things that can be helpful to you as you start to make the transition. And again, it is a transition. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifelong journey that, it's not something to kind of do in one day or to do it overnight. Take your time with it and make it work for you.
Yes, it's no right or wrong way. Everyone taste buds is different. I may taste something like, wow, it's delicious, and you taste it and you're like, oh, I don't really like it like that. So try the different flavoring, limit the sodium and so forth, the sugar and stuff, and just try different things and see how it works out for you. But like my wife just said, it's a journey. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So it's going to take a lot of time, and just be proactive and do your due diligence, and you'll be fine.
Okay, I think that's great, Tim. So thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. And again, just to recap, be mindful of the seasonings you are putting on your food. Be mindful of your dressings, and be mindful of the other contents. We kind of outlined the 4 things you should look for: sugar, salt, carbs, as well as fat. So those are things to really take into consideration. If it has too much sodium, if it starts with salt, be sure to read those labels. That's something you want to back away from. If you see things like high fructose corn syrup, that's something that contains a lot of sugar. You want to back away from that. You see stuff with the high cholesterol content, a lot of eggs, a lot of dairy. Those are products you may want to steer clear of and definitely kind of reduce and eliminate from your diet.
Yes.
So we just want to take this opportunity to thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with those who are looking to learn more about the whole foods plant-based lifestyle, who are looking to learn more about fitness and nutrition from a professional, okay? Expertise here, sharing it with you all. I like to talk about recipes, nutrition, fitness, things that I've learned, things that we have learned together as we have decided to undertake this plant-based journey, this lifestyle. But what we're doing and speaking about, to us, I think it can speak for both, but it's a calling and we are very passionate about it.
Yes.
Timothy shared his story about Miss Maxina, his mother, and the struggle she had with kidney issues and dying, almost prematurely because of poor health. My parents, poor health and diabetes. My parents are stroke survivors who are living with chronic health issues, and God bless them to survive their strokes. But, it's just a lot, and so we want to encourage you to take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Be intentional about your food choices and just live your life to the fullest, and have fun, but just consider the whole foods plant-based lifestyle. Anything else you want to add, babe?
You're gonna make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up too much. You're gonna make mistakes. You're human. We all are. We fall off the wagon, get back on. It's not a big deal. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
If you have to stop your journey, like we stopped in 2017, get back on the stick.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you all for watching. Again, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. And until the next time, you have a wonderful evening. Be blessed, prosper, and definitely be in good health.